Hey guys, Mr. Rulo here. We're going to do a little baking in my kitchen at home. So we're going to start. Well, usually I would be doing a save to week, but we're just going to get right into the recipes here. Okay, guys? So the first recipe that we're going to be doing is oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Now you have this as a Google Doc, and what's going to happen here is I'm going to go over it. I want you filling it out as we go. Okay? Here we go. You're going to need 1/3 cup of margarine. That's 1/3 of a cup. You're going to need 1/3 of a cup brown sugar. You're going to need half a teaspoon vanilla. You're going to need half a cup of flour. You're going to need 1/8 of a cup of water. It's just a splash. I'll show you that in a demo. You're going to need 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda. You'll need half a cup of oats. And you'll need 1/3 cup of chocolate chips. Okay, so that's what I've done so far. Alright, here we go, on to the directions. You're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You don't ever put food into a cold oven and then turn it on. Okay, that doesn't count towards the cooking or baking time. So you need to actually go and preheat your oven. So you would go over to your oven, you would hit bake, and then put it up to 350 degrees. Ask your parents to show you how to preheat your oven. So it doesn't matter if you're making French fries, it doesn't matter if you're making a pizza, it doesn't matter if you're baking anything, okay, or cooking anything in the stove or oven, you need to preheat, okay? So when you put your cookie dough in the oven, it's nice and hot and it's ready to bake. Okay, so second step, you're going to cream together the butter and sugar and brown sugar into a bowl, and then you're going to mix in the vanilla. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. Step 3, you're going to add the flour and mix well. So you're just going to be using one bowl for this. In a small little bowl, so I'll be using a bowl about this size, small bowl, you're going to mix together baking soda and water. And then add that to the batter. Step 5, you're going to stir in the oats and chocolate chips. And then you're going to drop by spoonfuls onto a cookie sheet. Okay, a baking tray. You have one of these for sure. Ask your parents. And make sure you ask your parents, tell your parents you're going to do any baking in the kitchen. Make sure you get their approval, obviously, right? Okay. And bake it at 350 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. Check the cookies at 12 minutes, okay? There's no egg in this recipe, so you can take them out at 12 minutes and eat them. They'll be chewier. The longer you go, the crispier they're going to get, okay? So it's up to you how you want, but there's no egg, so at 12 minutes, they'll be fine to eat. Step 7, remove the cookies from the cookie sheet. Let the cookies cool for 5 minutes before eating them. Alright, so those were all of the directions. Okay, so that is that was just me filling out the recipe. Now we're actually going to start the demo. Okay, so on Tuesdays, this is how this would work. I would do the same thing on the whiteboard in the cooking room. You'd follow along. I would put on my apron, which I'm going to do right now. This is my baseball apron that Miss Sakon made for me, the great Miss Sakon, the fantastic sewing teacher. Okay, so what aprons do is they keep, obviously, your clothes clean, but they also keep whatever's on your clothes from getting into whatever you're making. Okay, awesome. And before I do any baking, I'm actually going to wash my hands, so bear with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z or Z. Okay, my hands are clean. I know they're clean because they feel squeaky, like they don't feel smooth. All that smoothness on your skin are the oils. You know your hands are clean when they make that sound, okay? All right, hands are clean, apron on. Let's get to the recipe. Oven's preheating, check. Okay, I got my bowl. You're just gonna need a mixing bowl about yay big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my butter. I need to cream my butter and sugar. So I need, now if you have margarine and butter, they do the same thing for baking, okay? They add moisture to whatever it is you're baking. So I need 1/3 of a cup. So I have my 1/3 of a cup. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab a spoon, one sec. Okay, now I'm going to take my, I'm using butter, okay? Usually at school I have margarine because it just lasts longer in the fridge, but you know, I'm at home, remotely teaching. Okay, so I got my 1/3 cup of butter or margarine, okay? My mom used to cook with baking fat, or bacon fat. It's just all about adding moisture to your cookies. Okay, so I got my 1/3 cup. I'm gonna add that to my mixing bowl. Boom, get it in there. Make that boom sound. Boom. Okay, 1/3 cup, done. I'm actually gonna rinse this out. I'm gonna need it in a little while. I'm gonna be using that 1/3 cup again. Next, I'm gonna be getting my brown sugar, and I need this 1/3 cup for the brown sugar. All right, there we go. At school, I got like 100 measuring cups. Here, I gotta clean as I go. Oh, my oven just beeped. That's saying, hey, I'm preheated. Let's get baking. Hold on, oven. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so I got, oh, I just touched my face. Wash my hands. See, and I do that even in the demo. You know what? It's a kind of a running joke. My nose gets really itchy. So whenever I touch my face, my students in the cooking room will say, Mr. Rulo, you scratched your nose. Okay, so again, you touch your face, you wash your hands. After the bathroom, you wash your hands. Before you eat, you wash your hands. Okay, hand washing, so important. Okay, especially nowadays. All right, so I got my butter. Now what I need to get is some brown sugar. Brown sugar. All right, so I need 1/3 cup brown sugar. Okay, I'm gonna reach in there. The thing about brown sugar, I love it, but what happens is if you don't close it properly, it gets really hard, okay? So air in brown sugar starts to solidify the actual sugar itself. So you just gotta really make sure you're closing it up, okay, to the best you can, all right? So there's 1/3 cup brown sugar. That was actually a little under a cup. Mine's kind of hard, I'm gonna add a little more. Perfect. Okay, so in here, I got my margarine, I got my brown sugar. Now I'm gonna cream it, I'm gonna mix it together, okay? So what you're looking for here is you want to get it to like peanut butter thickness or consistency, you know, so it might take a little while, you know, but as you mix, okay, with my clean hands, as you mix, it'll eventually start to combine. Sometimes I like to push it together against the side of the bowl, okay. There we go. There we go. There we go, it's getting better. Okay, so it's looking good. Getting close here. Nice. Good stuff. There we go. So this is how you get the forearm strength, okay, guys? By mixing, by baking. Okay, so I got that. Now I need to add some vanilla, okay? So we're using a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. This is a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm going to use 2 of these. But if you have a 1/2 teaspoon, I just don't know where it is right now. So I'm going to use 2 of these. Now this is the secret. I love vanilla. I call it the secret weapon. For me, when it's baking, it's vanilla. Whenever I'm making anything at home, like cooking for dinner, it's garlic. Okay, I'm a garlic guy. I'm a vanilla guy. This is who I am. I'm not afraid to admit it. All right, so I've added my vanilla. Let's get our mix on here, guys. Okay. Oh, it's starting to smell good. Mr. Rouleau, yes. Can we eat this cookie dough? I'm like, hey, you know what? You can. There's no egg in it. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil my cookies, okay? All right, so we have cream sugar. We have vanilla. Now we need to add, you guessed it, whoa, flour. Okay, so I got my flour, and I need to be putting in here 1/2 cup of flour. All right, no problem. So 1/2 cup. Now you want to make sure it's pretty level, so I'm just going to give it a little pat, okay? You want to have a pretty level 1/2 cup of flour. Get it in there. Keep mixing, folks. Now I'm using this as a spoon. If you have a wooden spoon, that's a good option as well, okay? If you have a wooden spoon, perfect. Okay, and I'm just add my flour. It's going to start to get nice and crumbly here in a little while, okay? There we go. Now we're going to make anywhere from 10 to 12 cookies with this recipe, okay? So it's a small recipe. Usually how it works on Tuesdays is after I'm finished the demo, I would take those 12 cookies, cut them in half, and everybody get a half cookie as a sample, okay? All right, there we go. Okay, so it's going to be kind of loosely together, okay? Now, next step is step 4. So we're going to mix together baking soda and water, and then we're going to add it to the batter. Okay, so I'm just going to get this out of the way. There we go. So I'm going to take my small bowl, okay, and I'm going to be adding 1/8 of a cup of water. So 1/8 of a cup is not much. So on this liquid measure, the shortest line here at the bottom, that's actually 1/4 cup. So I'm looking for 1/2 of that. So the way you do that is you put water in, you put it on the counter, okay, and then you have a look. Okay, and what you put on the counter because you want to get a good angle. You're looking for the meniscus line, and that's where this is actually, wow, I fluked out, but it's 1/8 of a cup. You want to make sure it's 1/2 of a quarter, okay? There won't be a 1/8 measure on your liquid measures, but you can still get away with that. So I'm going to add it to this little white bowl. It's not much water, see that? Now I'm going to be putting 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so 1/3 of a teaspoon baking soda. Okay, and now I'm going to mix that together. I'm just going to use the measuring spoon. Okay, so you're just going to mix it together. Now this is going to help your cookies rise a little bit. Okay, so I've got my water, I've got my baking soda in there. Now I'm going to take that, I'm going to add it to the cookie dough that I've already been making. Get it in there. Okay, and keep mixing. There we go. There we go. Looks good. Now mine are a little bit crumbly. I'm going to add a little splash more water, just a little bit. Okay. The thing about cooling about baking is you can kind of experiment, right? So I'm going to add a little bit more water. My dough is a little crumbly. Add a little more. I've done this recipe a lot of times, right? So I know that, you know, I can get away with a little bit more water, and you can. Okay, there we go. That's starting to look better. All right, now we are on step 5. Stir in the oats and the chocolate chips. Now you might be saying, hey, Mr. Earl, you're wearing a hat. I am wearing a hat. I have the quarantine haircut going on right now. It's not pretty up there, so I'm wearing a hat. All good. Okay, so I'm going to be adding my oats. So I'm using quick oats. Okay, any oats work for this recipe though. Any oats work. I've even used steel cut oats. They were okay. I prefer, you know, whole oats like this. Quick oats work really well. And I need 1/2 cup of oats. So I'm going to use the same 1/2 cup I used for my flour. I'm going to fill up my 1/2 cup. Give it a shake so it's pretty level. There we go. Add them to your dough. Move them out of your way. Now usually I have 2 helpers here, right? One person doing dishes, one person helping me put stuff away as we go. I don't have that. Let's just make the mess, no problem. And now I need my delicious semi-sweet chocolate chips, all the way from Superstore. And I need 1/3 a cup of chocolate chips. Here we go. Oh, get them in there, guys. Don't be afraid, right? Oh, yeah. My kids love these cookies. They're going to help me eat them today. All right. Perfect. Mix it up. All right. So you really want to combine them. You really want to get those chocolate chips in there. All the oats evenly distributed. All right. I like it. All right. This is looking really good. Okay. So there's my dough. Okay. Smells really good. Good enough to eat. Don't eat it yet, though. Okay. So I'm going to grab my baking sheet. Okay, it's time to have a little fun here. Now, with my very clean hands, okay, I am going to start to roll. So I'm going to take a, see, I've done this for a long time, right? But what I would do is I would take a spoon, I'd put it in my hand, and I would actually roll them into cookies. Now, they look small, but they double in size when they bake, okay? So, and I'm going to put it right in the pan. I push them down a little bit, okay? Same thing, grab a spoon. Okay, put it in your hand, and you can always add more. If you have leftover dough, you can always pick up the cookie and add more. Okay, so make my second cookie here. Kind of play with it a little bit, manipulate it in your hand, roll it, boom. There's my second cookie. Okay, you're going to do this 12 times. Try to make that dozen. Okay, sometimes I do a baker's dozen, which is actually 13, okay, because the baker's got to try one before they go out to the people, you know. That's why it's called a baker's dozen. He or she sells 12, eats one. Baker's dozen. There you go. There's your little knowledge for the day. All right. So 1, 2, 3. There's my fourth cookie. Again, they don't look very big, but I'm trying to make 12 here. Okay. All right. So you're gonna roll them. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's my fifth cookie. 6. 7. 8. 'They might be a little tricky to roll, but that's okay. Just try your best. Oh, I want to have a lot of chocolate chips. I'll eat that one. 9. So I said anywhere from 10 to 12. This is going to be a 10 cookie batch, this one here. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Okay, so I got my 10 cookies. All right, I'm just going to wash my hands here because they're covered in butter, etc. All right. Okay, so my oven is preheated. Now, I'm going to grab some oven mitts. Okay, I'm going to take my speaker off here. Oh, my assistant has found my oven mitt. Look at that. So, oven mitts are your friends. You must wear oven mitts. I do not want anybody using dish towels. I do not want anybody using paper towels. Use an oven mitt, okay? It's got the thumb. You can grab better. You must be using oven mitts. Okay, so I'm going to take these off so you can see. Okay, so we got our cookies in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm using a timer on my microwave here. Okay, yeah. So I will see you guys in approximately 12 minutes.